Hello friends, uh, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to see uh, uh, today we are going to see in something more about Power BI, and there are the data connections which are available in Power BI. In my last demonstration, I gave you information about what is Power BI, what is the architecture of the Power BI, how it is different from the traditional SSRS approach, and its integration with Office 365. Now let's have a look at the data connections which are available in Power BI. So basically, for creating reports in Power BI, you need a data source, and this data source can be an Excel, CSV file, SQL Server, Oracle text, Haskell, SAP. It can be any data source. So Power BI provides all those connectors using which you can connect to these variety of data sources. Okay. So once you are connected to a data source, then you have the capability of doing data modeling on the data source. Data modeling basically means that you can define relationship between the tables, you can transform the data, play with the data, do editing with the data. Okay. So yeah, so that's what you can do once you get the data. But if you're fetching the data via SAS, then you do not need to do data modeling because the data is already modeled in that case. So for those who are not aware what is modeling, modeling is something like where you can connect to multiple data source, and then you can combine the data and create a unique model, and that model will be used for creating charts and visualizations and dashboards. Okay, it is a final data which we have. So you may have data into variety of tables, and then you can combine and bring your data into one table. You can do as that well, and then show that particular data. Okay, how can we load data? So we have various options: import, direct query, and live connection. Now what does import supports? So import in a desktop version supports editing the queries, it supports doing modeling, and it supports creating visuals. When you are using Power BI web as a service, then it supports refresh, and it displays the current, and does not support displaying the current data, because what actually happens in import is that you are fetching the data from a particular file, and you are fetching all that particular data. You are just dumping the data into in memory of Power BI, right? When you are in a desktop mode, it is using your RAM and the computer memory, but where you are in the cloud, it is using the cloud memory. Okay, and desktop, and what is common data copied to Power BI. So data is directly copied into Power BI. That is, I told that data is in memory of the Power BI. Okay, and data is not in the source, so there is no direct connection between your data and Power BI. So if after importing your data changes, then you have to manually refresh the data or put a schedule to refresh the data. So in that way your data will be refreshed and will get updated. Okay, now second option is the direct query. Now in direct query, you do not have the option of edit queries, but you have option of modeling. That is, you can transform the data the way you want to be displayed. You have the option of creating visuals, and now direct query does not require refresh. So that is one great advantage. It does not require refresh because you're fetching the live data directly from the database. So always it will display the live data, and it always displays the current data, and data stays in source. So in the desktop mode, we have option of modeling visuals, and in the service mode, current data is displayed, and desktop and service data stays in source. So now you can see the basic difference is that the direct query fetches the live data, whereas in import you need to refresh the data. I hope this is now clear, the difference between import and direct. This is a basic difference between them, so you need to only understand this basic difference, and based on that you can enhance your skills further. Live connection is basically only supported in SAS, and it supports creating visuals, and it displays the current data, and data stays in source. Using live connection, you do not do you cannot do modeling, as I already told you here in the third statement. If you're using SAS, you don't need to do any modeling, as we do that in SAS. Okay. So, so let's have a look at the import definition. So all your data, this one. So all your data loads in Power BI in memory. Thus you need to refresh the data or import it again if you are making changes in the data. When using import, the full edit query suite is available to mash up any data source, transform the datasets, and manipulate the data in any way you see fit, like changing the rows and columns, renaming the columns, applying formulas, applying measures, using calculated columns. All these things you can do directly. Thus, using import, you can connect to large data sets. Okay, the Power BI's in-memory data model that compresses the source data so that you can interact with the data and rapidly display the results of your slicing and dicing. The downside is that it may time to load the data, and there might be performance issues. On the other hand, the direct query or the direct connection to source data is a very classic approach. This approach stands in stark contrast to, that is, it is used with Power BI for small subset of data. You filter only or get only selected data. Okay, and live connection, as I told you, it always works with SAS. Now let's have a look at this get data. So when I'm fetching it from the Excel, so I get it superstore information. So now the file is getting loaded. Okay, so this method is called as an import method. As you're pulling all the information directly from the Excel. And this way all your data are getting loaded. So let me just skip this for now and just cancel it. Now when you select SQL Server, so now you have an option of direct query and import. So in direct query you can write your SQL statement for getting the data. So that's what direct query means, and direct query is available not for only a selected data sources like SQL, Oracle, SAP. Okay, so yeah, only for a few of these data sources it is available. Okay, and then other like we have Excel connection, SharePoint connection. You can connect to a SharePoint folder, etc. So these are the various connections which are available. You can also connect to a SharePoint list, OData feed. You can connect to a web. You can connect to Hadoop. You can connect to Microsoft Exchange. You can connect to Active Directory. So there are many options available for connection, and you can have a look at them once you install Power BI Desktop. Okay, and yeah, and also I want to show you about the analysis services. Here you can see we have option of connect live. So this option is only available in SQL Server analysis service. Okay, so that's all for today about the connection types. We will have a deep dive into Power BI in my future demos. If you like my channel, you can subscribe it, and if you like my video, you can like it. Thank you.